So if you're going to be following Jesus, that means you're willing to start on a death march for Jesus. You don't know what's going to happen to you when you start following Jesus. That's the way. He says, follow me. The way to salvation is through Jesus and his cross. In Galatians, the 2nd chapter, the 20th verse, Paul says, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. When I crucify all my flesh and Christ lives in me, I'll be like Peter or somebody like that, and I'll be able to tell a man that never walked again by the power of Jesus that's inside of me to say, rise up and walk. And I pray that I may decrease, that he may increase. You know, a lot of Christians, they have a hard time living a Christian life because they really don't know that they're supposed to die with Christ. You know, Paul wrote many times to the people that he wrote to in the epistles to the churches. In Colossians, the 2nd chapter, 20th verse, he said to that church, you died with Christ. In Romans, the 6th chapter, the 8th verse, he says, we died with Christ. And to the Corinthian church, he says, we died. When you come to Jesus, you come to the end of yourself. And you come to the end of sin. And you want Jesus. You want Jesus more than anything in the world. And his righteousness. And you'll do any sacrifice for him. You know, Jesus didn't call people to follow him and disciples to make their lives easy and prosperous, but to make them holy and productive for the kingdom of God. If you want to take up your cross, that's the mark of the true disciple, the true believer. If you trust God, his plans are going to be carried out correctly. God will always do right by you. If you die for his name's sake, you know, you're still going to have God's power and love and joy and peace in you. God has a plan for the world. He has a plan for you, and his plan is bigger than any of us. But if you're going to follow Jesus and become his disciple, you're going to pay a great price. It says the kingdom of God is like a pearl of great price, right? There was a man, if there was a pearl of great price or a gold nugget over there worth $2 million,